What's up, guys? This is Hunter Starcraft. Today I'm making this video not to do a commentary, but to bring you important Starcraft news all the same. I saw this posted up on Reddit this morning when I got up, and it is pretty dramatic. The patch that Blizzard has announced is going to be out in a couple of weeks, I'm sure. I just want to go over some of the patch changes and kind of provide the community with somewhere, to discuss it on YouTube. I don't think there really is anywhere yet. So for those of you who don't necessarily regular all these forums and stuff, we can talk about it in the comments below. I want to go over really the balance changes and maybe a couple other things. There's a lot of information on this particular post, so I'm just going to go over what's vital. There are going to be chat channels now, which is pretty cool. I checked out those chat channels. Yeah, they seem pretty nice. A lot of people were kind of pissed off when the retail was released with no chat channels on Battle.net, which is kind of unlike all other Blizzard games. So those will be included. Very nice. You'll also be able to rename your character, I think, which is pretty cool. Stalemate detection, I really like because you'd actually be surprised how often stalemates occur. Quite a bit. So now, if there's no income production or destroyed structures for 3 consecutive minutes, it looks like the server will detect a stalemate. And yeah, so there's not going to be any awkward, like, hour-and-a-half long games discussing, no, you leave, UGG, UGG. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Some new graphics options, interface changes. It's going to be a new Master League above the Diamond League. Nowhere I'll be spending all my time, of course. Jokes. Now to the meat of this post. We've got the balance changes. This is what has such a huge impact of the game, affects everything from the ladder and the meta game and the tournaments. Just this is really what's huge. So I'm going to go over these real quick. Hallucination. Decrease in build time, so that is going to be a buff down to 80 seconds. I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with this. Hallucination is definitely an underused spell. The Observer is cheaper now, half the minerals and 25 less gas, so its new cost 25.75. I don't really have any problems with that. Wonder what you guys think about it. The Phoenix, this is a pretty big deal. That's a pretty significant decrease in build time, which I don't know how necessary it was, just because Phoenix aren't necessarily a really underused unit, and this buff could be pretty dramatic. Void Rays now do more damage to massive targets, so of course Colossus, Thor, Ultralisks. I think that's not an unreasonable change. Void Rays were kind of nerfed in the last patch, so yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Flux Veins, that upgrade has been removed. Good. Nobody uses Flux Veins anyway. This bunker buff for Terran. This has actually been introduced in previous patches as well. They decreased the build time from 35 to 30, but in the previous patches it was re-upped to 35 once again, and as it says here, this is only going to be temporary. So yeah, I think they're just going to experiment with that a little bit. I'm not sure if that's going to be permanent. SCVs now have the same threat priority as the unit they're repairing. I don't think that's a huge deal. Construction movement more consistent with SCVs. That's pretty reasonable. I guess it's going to be a little easier to pick off SCVs building buildings, of course. Now, the big dramatic post and the uproar in the StarCraft community, the Infestors, very popular ability Fungal Growth is no longer going to affect air units. This is certainly the most significant change in this particular patch, well, with respect to balance. It's going to make, just to say a couple things, Phoenix, for example, are going to be a lot harder to deal with because if you've got mutas in the air, you can't fungal growth the Phoenix so that your mutas can get that splash damage. It's going to make Phoenix really hard to deal with. Zerg, would have to go kind of mass air versus them. Drops as well. It's going to be harder to pick off medevacs as they can just lift off and escape. You can't ensnare the medevac. So that's just a couple examples of many about how this is really going to affect the game. So it's a pretty big deal. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this particular patch and these balance changes. They are, pretty dramatic, and I want to get some feedback and some discussion going in the comments below. So let me know what you guys think. I think that's all for today. I'll post a link to this as well in the description so you can check out everything that this post has. But yeah, other than that, I think that's all. And this is Hunter Starcraft, signing out.